We have tremendous amounts of resources, but Africa needs local champions.
And ensure that the wealth of the continent stays on the continent.
To be an African company creating such impact, it's very rewarding.
Welcome to Connecting Africa. I'm Eleni Jarkas. Sport is more than just a game. It's a big and booming industry. One sports sector that's seeing huge growth across the continent is esports and mobile gaming in particular. It's estimated that last year there was 349 million gamers in Africa, and from that figure, 304 million were believed to be mobile gamers. The market on the continent was estimated to be worth $1.8 billion. It's a market that is growing 6 times faster than the rest of the world, according to mobile gaming publisher Carry First. Our Africa correspondent Victoria Rubadiri has been finding out what's driving its rapid growth across the continent.
From South Africa to Morocco to Kenya and Nigeria, the sport of gaming is taking hold across the continent.
My name is Taima Dushitola. I'm a gamer.
My name is Regina. I'm a gamer and I'm a fan of fighting games, Street Fighter, Tekken and Mortal Kombat.
Over in Kenya, one of Africa's top female gamers, Sylvia Gathoni, better known as Queen Arrow, is showing me what this growing sport is all about.
You have to literally direct me and guide me on what we're doing. So what's this game that we're playing?
This is Tekken 8. This is what I compete in professionally.
This Kenyan-born professional esports player, law student and content creator, plays Tekken, a popular fighting game.
Africa is a blank slate. The fact that we aren't as developed as many other regions means that there is opportunity, ironically enough.
Research carried out by game publisher Carry First found that in 2024, there were a massive 349 million gamers across the continent, 304 million of whom, or 87%, were playing on their mobile phones.
The first thing is just core demographics. So we have 1.5 billion people. The second is the age. So the median age in Africa is about 19 years old. That compares to like 43 in Western Europe. And so if you're thinking about people who are keen to adopt new technologies, new forms of media, and who are highly social and digital native, the rise of mobile really unlocks gaming in the region because you don't need to have a $1,000 console or thousands of dollars PC. Everyone who has a device can be a gamer. And so I think the combination of those 3 factors just leaves an incredible amount of potential here.
But this burgeoning industry faces many challenges, among them how to pay for games and getting internet access.
On the global sphere, people can go into their Play Store or their App Store, slot in their credit card, and they can easily make purchases. On the African continent, it's not that easy because cards aren't exactly our primary way of payments and transactions across the continent. Not only is the card usage low, but the payment methods are also fragmented, which means what is used in Nigeria is not what's used in Kenya. What's used in Kenya is not what's used in South Africa. We are now helping them pay for content that they like with their local methods. So you're doing bank transfers in Nigeria, you're doing M-Pesa in Kenya, Momo in Ghana, all these things are now working for these people. One more, we've started working with partners to launch servers on the African continent. Within the last 3 years, we've launched 2 servers in partnership with Call of Duty Mobile, one in South Africa, one in Nigeria, and it has massively improved the game's quality and the gameplay experience for players.
Overcoming these problems is what has led to the creation of the African Confederation of Esports to unify, develop, and promote the industry across the continent.
We are trying with our 48 members to build the ecosystem of esports in Africa. We know that gaming is one of the leading industry in terms of entertainment in the world. It's worth it more than cinema and music combined in terms of revenues. It's the industry of the future, and we know that gaming can be like a main mean of inclusion of the youth in the society.
The Confederation continues to build a gaming network across the continent. For now, it's players like Queen Arrow who are an example of how gaming can open new career paths for young Africans on the continent.
I can't even do anything. We're going to a different dimension. Oh God. Knockout. This was fun. Yeah, I've learned quite a bit.
Up next, with its vast coastline, we look at the rise of surfing and Africa's blue sports economy. Welcome back to Connecting Africa. The continent has enormous potential to develop a sports industry along its vast coastline. One such sector is surfing. In 2023, the world's surfing tourism sector was estimated to be worth more than $65 billion and is projected to be generating revenues of almost $96 billion by 2030. One country trying to take a bite out of that market is Côte d'Ivoire.
Surfing changed my life completely. Surfing was like the way out for me. It was like a doorway that I could open.
We come from Africa, and like me, I'm telling my story. I started at nothing. We represent, and we have this opportunity and this privilege to able to like traveling, you know. We all want to like do great.
As waves crash along the coastline of Assini, Côte d'Ivoire, dozens of African surfers have gathered to compete at the African Surf Tour.
We haven't had international competitions in Ivory Coast. This is the first. I thought that it would be a really good opportunity to bring the surf culture to Ivory Coast.
In February, the continent-wide tournament was hosted in collaboration with Surf Côte d'Ivoire and the African Surfing Confederation.
We've been left out, so this tour is for surfers, for African athletes. So they'll compete in Africa, win in Africa, and above all, succeed in Africa.
Founded in 2017, the Confederation unites 42 countries under the mission of fostering and developing Africa's surf industry by providing African surfers with more opportunities to compete locally.
In Africa, as we always say, we have often been forgotten, yet we have so much value. Proof of that is right here. We are in one of Africa's beautiful countries, in Abidjan, Assini, a place where we have the lagoon, the ocean, and a stunning green background with amazing waves. So part of our vision as a confederation is to promote and showcase African destinations.
The head of the NGO, Surf Côte d'Ivoire, says bringing African surfers together to compete on their own turf is game-changing.
We have 30 kilometers of coastline here in Assini that is like with quality waves and not enough people surfing, you know. So we have so much potential. And for me, having surfers of such level in Assini, I really think that it's going to push things forward. And it's going to inspire the younger generations of Ivory Coast to become better surfers and to be able to represent Ivory Coast at a high level on the international scene.
A report from the business research company estimates the global surfing tourism market was worth more than $10 billion in 2024. The African Surfing Confederation says it's looking for ways to make the continent's market share swell.
I want these African countries to have state clubs. In these clubs, we will train instructors, coaches, and lifeguards. Surfing is a factor in development.
However, local surfers often have to navigate rough waters to compete.
The first challenge is finding the support and raising the funds to be able to make such a competition.
You need to have the proper equipment if you want to be the best. You have to have, the right support, the right community in your corner. Traveling, accommodation, it all costs money, So for me, I think the biggest, downfall that I'm struggling with at the moment is obviously funding.
This year, South African surfing pro Paul Sampson dominated the competition, coming in first place.
I want to show them it's possible. It's definitely possible no matter where you come from. Because it's not going to be easy, but you don't have to give up.
He and others within the community are determined for Africa's surf industry to ride the waves to international levels of success.
I really want to push African surfing. I want to push this, this confederation till the next level. In the future, it's going to be a very big thing. It's going to be very cool, because you're exposed to more Africans can surf.
Right now, there's a lot of hope for the future, and we feel like it's a new era that's being created for surfing in Ivory Coast.
Today, African countries like Morocco, South Africa and Senegal don't just participate in competitions, they compete to win. We are no longer outsiders. Surfing wasn't born in Africa, but today, Africans are carrying the torch for the future of global surfing. In the world of surfing, every region has had its moment, and now it's Africa's time.
When we come back, we go to Kenya to see a booming business in high-altitude training. Welcome back to Connecting Africa, where this month we're looking at the business of sport. It's estimated that the African sports economy is currently worth $12 billion and could almost double to $20 billion by 2035. In Kenya, there's a thriving business in the sport of high-altitude training, and our Africa correspondent, Victoria Rubadiri, has gone to the town of Iten, better known as the home of champions, to take a look.
As a new day dawns over Iten, the roads hum with the sounds of those pounding the pavement. This is the home of champions, where some of the world's greatest long-distance marathon runners have been produced. Thousands follow in their footsteps with the goal of striding to greatness. I've come here to the Lona Kiplagat Sports Academy. It's been attracting athletes from all over the world. What's the secret? Let's find out. Let's go. Kenyan-born Lona Kiplagat is a 3-time Olympian and 4-time world road running champion. She set up the High Altitude Training Center in 1999 after realizing Iten's unique location, 2,400 meters above sea level.
It is scientifically proven like we are at the right place, and we found out like it's really the best place in the world is when we really took it a bit more serious.
She's established a sprawling business. It includes accommodation, training facilities, and an Olympic standard 400-meter running track. 2 weeks here with full board accommodation and coaching will set you back $2,000.
At the moment, we have 43 athletes training here. We have the British, we have the Irish, we have the Danish, we have Bulgaria, Lithuania, Russia, and Brazil.
It's also a major boost to the local economy.
If you go outside there, you can see women selling fruits. That's part of contributions of the athletes. If you see the taxi drivers, they are getting also income from this athletic. If you see farmers, also their products, athletes buy from them.
The High Altitude Training Center's success has also brought economic opportunities.
We have our online coaching, we have our own app, we have our own sports apparel, we have our own training center, and we hope this is a blueprint for others to emulate.
Let's talk about the clothing line that you started. It's gotten a lot of attention, especially outside of Kenya. What inspired you to begin it and start it?
I like sports apparel, but the sports apparel needs to appeal to me. It has to look good. Our clientele is basically African. I used African colors, African happiness, bring the African desire into sports apparel.
And she has plans to expand even further.
We have a lot of athletes who get a scholarship in America. We are planning in the future to have a sports academy where even like pre-university, before you go to university, you can come do your running, but also do simple courses, which can transform you when you go to university.
Back at the running track, I've decided to test the high-altitude training for myself. And I'm joined by some eager runners from all over the world.
So I'm from Brighton in the south of England.
I'm from Uganda.
After a quick warm-up, we are off. Spurred on by up-and-coming middle-distance runner Ugandan Dominic Krop, after a 400-meter sprint, I'm ready to give my verdict.
Yeah, you can definitely feel that strain. Whew. Your lungs are trying to get as much air as possible. And it really weighs you down. My legs, wow. Whew. I can see why high altitude training is a must if you're trying to improve your pace.
It gives me a lot of motivation. That's why I feel happy when I'm in E10 because I'm with the champions of different countries, the world record holders, so I'm in the right place.
From high-altitude training to a thriving sports economy, in E10, champions and a thriving business seem to be running side by side.
When we come back, we go to South Africa to see the annual Cape Epic mountain bike race. Welcome back to Connecting Africa. Sports tourism, which involves traveling to see an event or participating in one, in 2020 was estimated to be worth over $323 billion. Globally, by 2030, it could reach over $1.8 trillion. In one country, South Africa, in the first 6 months of 2023, it's estimated that sports tourism contributed $31.8 million to its economy. One event that attracts people from all over the world and contributes to South Africa's economy is the annual Cape Epic mountain bike race.
For me, growing up, it was always a dream to be racing Cape Epic at one stage.
Cape Epic, obviously, with it being the pinnacle event in mountain biking, it's able to attract a lot of riders. But over the 8 days, you literally climb Mount Everest twice on a mountain bike.
This is a prestigious Tour de France of mountain biking.
Every year, hundreds of mountain bikers from around the world set out on a treacherous 8-day journey through Cape Town, South Africa, to test their strength, endurance, and wit. This year, under the scorching sun, 680 teams of 2 set out to compete in the Absa Cape Epic, a grueling mountain bike race where riders travel 700 kilometers through demanding terrain, climbing 16,000 meters in elevation.
Well, one of the most unique things about the event is that we are a pro-am event. So we've got pro riders racing alongside amateur riders, which For an amateur rider is an amazing thing to do. Pros always aspire to win the Absa Cape Epic, and our amateurs aspire to compete in the Absa Cape Epic.
Race organisers say about half of the riders are from South Africa, with other riders coming from Europe, South America and beyond. They estimate that this year's event contributed $29.5 million to the local economy.
The impact on the Western Cape alone is approximately 570 million rand, which, as you can imagine, over the course of an 8-day event, that's a massive impact on the Western Cape.
Lesotho-born racer Tumelo Makaye is among the riders participating from 9 other African countries. He says he competes in cycling races for more than national pride.
We are trying to inspire people, to inspire the kids back home, to make them aware that it is possible, that they also can dream and they can make it to the Cape Epic.
He hopes competitions like these will continue to propel the sport forward.
There has to be a structure to develop cycling across the continent. There has to be some development, maybe development teams or like clubs, and they have to be started young and to be developed to get to the best level possible.
And he's not alone. South African 5-time Cape Epic finisher Letsecho Zulu is seeing the sport grow across the continent.
I continue to come back just to show them that it is possible, and the numbers have grown. You know, the numbers of women participants has grown, which is absolutely amazing to witness.
But she says it can be a tough sport to enter.
Some of the challenges that African riders experience when it comes to taking part in events such as this. Number one, the financial commitment. It's very expensive. So we definitely do need a lot more corporate sponsors to not just come into the sport, but to back some of our top athletes.
Victory is yours on the stage.
With organisers eyeing future expansion.
Over the years, we've definitely seen an upward trend of the growth of cycling within South Africa and the development of cycling. And we certainly hope that that's just going to grow within the continent of Africa as well as globally.
Cyclists and their teams are hopeful the continent can break away to become a biker's haven.
With regards to develop cycling on the continent, we do need to collaborate. We are only as strong as our weakest link. And it's important that we grow the sport and that we work together to encourage people to ride a bike, to take part in these events. And I want to see, and we would like to see, that industry grow, and we need to support that.
That's it for this month's Connecting Africa. If you want to know more about the subjects we cover on this program, you can check out our website. Until next month, from me, Eleni Jakas, let's keep on connecting.